Still chasing loose steering issues. 1998 GMC Sonoma coming at you. So in our last video, we replaced the center steering link, and we still got a good bit of loose steering. So let me show you what I hope will help. So one of the things these trucks have is a rag joint, and I went to Summit and picked up this steering shaft, which it says is for a 1994 to 04 GMC steering shaft. It's really made if you're putting headers on the car. So it's a steering shaft. You can see pretty much instead of a rag joint, we have a U-joint. So I tried to do some research on trying to find an alternative, like going to the junkyard, but it was very confusing on trying to what Jeep Cherokee, what model, all this other stuff. So went with the easy button. Reviewing our instructions, there's two of them. Looks like this top one is actually for your second gen truck, and then this one's for your first gen. So our steering shaft is right there. I went ahead and removed our air filter box, which is pretty easy. It was just a 10mm right here, and then a hose clamp here, and then these garments are kind of a pain in the butt, but it slips on out. I really wanted to remove the whole shebang. Let me show y'all. We got a hose connecting it right here, and then the air box runs in under our upper radiator hose, and it just got too complicated. I just leaving it alone. I think we got enough room to deal with everything here. So as you can see though, we do got a clear shot. There's like probably a 10mm bolt there, and we're going to have to dig in here to try to find a bolt there. So, and then this is the adjustment screw right there that we're going to probably be messing with. That was really easy. Took this bolt out. I'll show you my contraption. I used this tool, which it was nice that this was short, but it's a lot of it's because it's too long. I was able to angle this up, and I had to use a universal with an 11mm, just like my Trans Am right there. It is 11mm for your steering bolts, and then I just had to wiggle it off of this spline, and then it came out, and it has like these little notches right here. Oh, look like, yeah, a little springed out. So a little bit of tension. Once I got the steering shaft off of the splines, I moved it over here in this little pocket and slid it on out. And this is what we have for our steering shaft. As you can see, that is the design as the Blackheart. I think it's Blackheart, wherever the new steering shaft. Here's our rag joint. And this is the play that we get in a rag joint. It's lock to lock. That about 1/4 inch play there. So let's see if everything fits. I don't think I need to take off the other side because I'm just going to slide the new one up in there. But let's read the instructions. I think it did say apply some grease. So it's a little bit confusing, but first off, let's start off with steering shaft goes in beautiful, just like we thought. I applied, I guess, automotive high temp grease. I lubricated the inside of the shaft. It already had some lubrication on from the factory. Slid it up to enough where I can get our steering shaft back on. So what was confusing was reading the instructions somewhere in here. Pretty much says you're not going to use the factory flat spot, which was confusing until I put it on. My factory, this flat spot from the factory is like in the 12 o'clock position. Where this set screw goes is at, well, that'd be about the 9 o'clock. So now it tells me pretty much to remove the set screw, kind of like in that picture. And I need to put a flat spot, I need to mark it and put, using a file, flat spot or splines so that the this set screw will have something to grab onto. So to do that though, I need to move the steering wheel so I can get to the set screw and then get a Sharpie or some type of puncher or scribe and mark it. But I think before we do that, I think we can go ahead and see if our steering shaft is any tighter. So let's get in the truck. So we're in the truck. Key on, get all the beeps. It might be a hair better, but not much. So that's something. So we will adjust that set screw, but let me go ahead and turn this slightly. Hopefully that put the set screw where we want to get to it. So one of the things I just did was go up and down my driveway with everything still out. This vehicle don't have a mass airflow sensor or anything, just made sure I didn't suck up no leaves. I say mass airflow sensor because some vehicles, if you leave the air filter off, the turbulence from not having air filter will mess up the way the elements reads airflow. Didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. We're just more worried about debris getting sucked up. So I say all that because when I did the new center link there and pitman arm, my steering wheel was off by almost a quarter of a turn, maybe an eighth of a turn. So after realizing that this Holley Blackheart, universal steering shaft, it pretty much, the reason why we have to refile it is because you can put it anywhere. So saying that, I was able to reclock my steering wheel where now my tires are perfectly straight and I got my steering wheel pretty straight because right now it's locked. So I was able to recenter my steering wheel, and that's going to buy me some time before I need to get to the alignment shop, because I'm teaching somebody how to drive, and it really was throwing them off having the steering wheel out of place. So anyways, I just want to share that tidbit, and I didn't want to file down something just to change it. So now I need to reclock it like we were doing earlier, get the set screw out, and then file it down, and that's where we're going to mark it. So that worked well with just using a normal Sharpie. The set screw came out with, just finger tight, so that came out smooth. This is the file that I use. It's squared off. It was able to fit into the groove really nice. Let me see if I can get y'all zoomed in. Maybe y'all can see that. You can see where I filed right there. I know my finger makes it lose focus. And that's it. Got a little flat spot, something for that set screw to grab onto. And now we also got to retighten down these other two screws. And my steering wheel is moving, which is not good. So we're going to have to recenter that now. But all right, let me do that, and then we'll do one last review, I guess. Tools you're going to need to tighten down your set screw. This is a 4mm and a 1/2 inch holds the half inch right there holds the set screw, or 13mm. So I have my brother holding the steering wheel straight because the locking it the lock is setting it slightly off centered. So I just want to make sure that I'm realigning just right, because these splines are pretty small on here, so you could easily get it one spline off potentially. So let me use two hands and knock this out. Hey, so I want to go ahead and close out this video. The steering shaft wound up being a huge improvement. Also, we had the issue with the steering linkage, the center linkage. That was a huge improvement. And I did adjust the set screw on the top. I ran it in. I had a bunch of forum readings, but anyways, I pretty much ran it in till it was seated. And I had someone in the truck feeling for like drag of the steering wheel, like wiggling the steering wheel. And pretty much we pulled it 3/4 of a turn out, locked it in, and I'm telling you, like, my steering is about like that. And you would think that's probably excessive until you drive it, and it's actually perfect. So huge success on tightening up the steering on this Sonoma /S10. And yeah, on to the next one. Thank y'all.